Well, on to this Fox News alert. A senior ICE source tells Fox News that a semi-truck driver arrested in Washington state for killing a 29-year-old man in yet another fiery crash is an illegal immigrant. 25-year-old Kamalpreet Singh crossed the southern border on December 24th, 2023. He was arrested by U.S. Border Patrol in Lukeville, Arizona, but was just released into the interior of the United States by the Biden administration. Singh went on to cause a 3-vehicle crash on Thursday when his semi hit the back of a sedan. And according to Bill Malusian, quote, the victim's car is crushed like an accordion. Singh now faces criminal charges, including vehicular homicide. And we have seen similar crashes involving illegal immigrants play out over and over and over again. And one would think that this would be of great interest to the liberal media. But as suspected, they appear far more interested in sowing a totally different narrative. The Bostonian decided to make an illegal immigrant Bostonian of the Year. It's a continuation of their Maryland dad narrative. Do you remember that?
Union member, Maryland man who was wrongfully detained and deported.
This is a guy who was just abducted off the streets of Maryland.
A Maryland father wrongfully deported.
They mistakenly deported a Maryland father with protected legal status.
Now, an Obama-appointed judge ordered that so-called Maryland dad, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, be released from immigration detention immediately. A move that my first guest, Assistant Secretary of DHS, Tricia McLaughlin, called, quote, naked judicial activism. And the left is insisting that the Trump administration is apparently deporting veterans.
We are joined on Zoom by a gentleman named Sejun Park. He is a United States Army combat veteran who was shot twice while serving our country in Panama in 1989. Like many veterans, he struggled with PTSD and substance abuse after his service. He was arrested in the 1990s for some minor drug offenses, nothing serious. He never hurt anyone besides himself, and he's been clean and sober for 14 years. Earlier this year, you deported him to Korea, a country he hasn't lived in since he was 7 years old.
But as McLaughlin points out, Democrat Seth Magaziner left this out. Mr. Sejun Park's criminal history includes assault and criminal possession of a controlled substance. And then there was this similar testimony.
I identified myself as a U.S. citizen and a veteran, but that didn't matter. Agents smashed my window, sprayed tear gas and pepper spray into my car, dragged me out. I was choking on gas, unable to breathe, while officers shouted conflicting commands even after I complied.
But apparently there is more to that story, too. Let's bring in DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. Tricia, what was happening there? I mean, he says he was a veteran and he's picked up by ICE. What's going on?
Yeah, this George Reed's case is another smear from the mainstream media and this individual himself. He was arrested because he was assaulting law enforcement outside of an operation. Kaylee, you may remember back in the summer, there was an operation at a marijuana facility where our ICE agents actually recovered 12 unaccompanied children who were working at that marijuana facility underage. They are in the custody now of HHS and are in safe custody. But this individual was trying to impede operations. He was trying to thwart our law enforcement from doing their job. He did so by continuing to assault these individuals. But Kaylee, as your opening just said, we deal with these lies and smears time and time again. It's like whack-a-mole trying to get these politicians and the media to tell the truth or tell what the whole story is. We'll continue to do it over and over again as we're doing today.
Yeah, you do a great job getting the actual facts out there. I want to ask you about this story that broke last night. You were quoted in the article. This is the New York Times, and they say immigration agents are using air passenger data for deportation efforts. The Transportation Security Administration's providing passenger lists to ICE to identify and detain certain travelers. You know, I think that this is a pretty creative, innovative way to use the resources at DHS. What's happening there in airports?
Well, there's only one reason that those in this country illegally should be flying on our air, and it's that they're going to go home and self-deport. Kaylee, as you and so many members of your audience know, the U.S. taxpayer has so generously offered to give those in this country legally $1,000 as an exit bonus, a free flight home, and then preserve the potential opportunity to return the right way. So what we're doing with TSA, what we're doing with CBP, is we're making sure we're breaking down these silos. We know who's in our air. If we think that they're in the country illegally, if we know that they're in the country illegally, they are going to be picked up by ICE or CBP and removed from the country and deported.
Yeah, the New York Times was very concerned that this may cause some travel delays of some sort. Interesting. So there was a threat against you. I was very concerned for you. You know, I've worked in Washington and comms and press. You pour your heart into it, and you never expect to hear something like this. New Jersey twin suspects are in custody after allegedly sending savage medieval death threats to Tricia McLaughlin. Tricia, when did you learn about this threat?
We learned about it after they picked up these individuals. I believe that they were arrested on Monday, and we're so grateful to the local authorities and Homeland Security investigations for taking that threat seriously and making those arrests. But, you know, I'm just one individual, and I'm so blessed that President Trump and Secretary Noem have given me the opportunity to defend our law enforcement on the ground. But our men and women in law enforcement, they wake up every day to enforce the rule of law, and yet these are the death threats that they're faced with every day. And they're faced with rampant assaults as well. And it's really incumbent upon these politicians, especially on the left. They know, we say ad nauseum, these threats. They've seen the terrorist attacks that have been conducted against our ICE law enforcement, where we have a 1,000% increase in assaults against law enforcement. So either they don't care or they want to see this violence against law enforcement. And I think it's really, it's despicable at this point, Kaylee. They got to step up. Someone's got to step up and say, enough's enough. Someone's going to get killed.
And Greg Bavino told me that, you know, you'll have the left say something like Nazi or some horrible name against ICE, and then he hears that repeated on the streets. Do you think there's a through line? It seems like you do, between that rhetoric and these threats now against you.
Oh, absolutely. When you see, mainstream Democrat politicians, whether it be Gavin Newsom or Jasmine Crockett, likening our ICE law enforcement to the modern day Gestapo, to the Nazis, to slave patrol, crazy people are going to do crazy things and take matters into their own hands and carry out a dangerous attack like we've seen in the past against our law enforcement over and over again. So, whether it be ICE or CBP or local law enforcement, if you see an officer today, thank them, because they're in danger today and their lives are at risk, and they're doing everything they can to make our community safer.
Amen. Thank a law enforcement officer if you see them today. Yeah. Tricia McLaughlin, thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.